Welcome to Marantz Rantz, no advice on finance. Spin the wheel and take a chance. Get an NFT and a little education. The system got undertow, that knowledge is flotation. You wanna learn? Well, you came to right place. You pumping AMC, might get slapped in the face. Get your due diligence, know who the villain is. Don't be a sheep when the shepherd's carnivorous. So come learn, laugh, and maybe you win big. And listen up, y'all, the wheel is not rigged. Everybody get a chance in the live chat. Kyoto spin wheel, you win just like that. Retail fight back and this retail winning. Y'all just wait, man, this is just the beginning. All fellow simians, GME group singing the truth. We just chillin', infinity pool swimming. So welcome to Marantz Rantz. A lot of knowledge but no advice on finance. Don't even need pants, you can tune in naked like Henny the Mayo Man. Internet's most hated. Don't wanna lose your money, then it's time for you to listen. If you're ignorant, invest in AMC, a superstition. The stream about ready, they told us to don't dance. I do what I want. Welcome to Marantz Rantz. 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 Welcome to Marantz Rantz.
Hi guys, welcome back. Oh no? Oh yeah, there you go, Brian. I was like, he's not with us anymore? Really? Okay, cool. Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to Marantz Rantz. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, whole lot of truth, no financial advice. We're going to go over that GameStop CEO, chairman of the board interview with, let's see, I have it here with Charles Payne on Fox. We have it locked and ready to go, but before we go over it, go over a couple of updates with you guys as far as this company goes. You know, I was asked a question last night. Someone asked, you know what, I'll talk about that later. We're going to go through the whole thing with the video, but let's go ahead and look at the website. This is GameStop.com. Right now they have Nintendo Switch 2 consoles. They have the bundles available for you for delivery, which they'll get to you. Right here you can buy the whole thing. Comes with the great game, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I actually really want to buy a Switch 2. I've been thinking about it. I've been like really figuring it out. I'll probably wait. I don't know. I'm going to take my wife out next weekend. I want to get away for a weekend, just her and I. We need a refresh. We need to pick me up after having a terrible week. You know, as you guys know, our family cat died and was hit by a car, unfortunately. Really sucked. Binks. My wife was watching Binks videos all weekend, like right now. And Binks is a terror, man. He was awesome. So just it sucks when a family member dies like that. So we'll get through it. Here's the next thing. Graded cards on the website. Graded cards on the website are here. You'll see that GameStop now has officially over 9,000 cards available to you. Pretty awesome the way GameStop's doing it. You know, this thing fluctuates, you know, 10, 20 every 10, 20 minutes. I can only imagine how many cards are actually churning through, and we're going to talk that out too. Just on a business standpoint, why I think why this company is so valuable to a lot of people. But let's do the interview first, and then we'll elaborate on that. I'll also interact with your comments. The more you comment, obviously, yes, there's a new system here for YouTube where the top fans get recognized. And so if you're in the top 3 based off of the engagement you have, that helps out too. What gives you engagement? It could be super chats. It could be just typing. It could be thumbs ups. A lot of things. I thought it was a pretty cool tool, a unique tool. But let's go ahead and watch this interview. Let's give it our best shot. It's going to be Charles Payne and Ryan Cohen. I will be pausing it in between to talk out my talking points on it. And Ryan, another thing, Ryan, I know you watched the show. I just want to say thank you for all the committed, support to us for all this time. Been doing this for a while. You know this, over 4.5 years of promoting GameStop, talking about it every day, and I'm never going to stop. Can't stop, won't stop GameStop, but the whole world needs to know what's coming. And what's coming is going to be something massive, something bigger than anyone could ever imagine. And I've been saying that for 4.5 years, even when you had no signs of it. And how? I don't know. I don't know if it's just knowing, the trends and what you see, what needs to be done in this world. But there has to be somebody to get up there and do it. And right now it seems that Ryan Cohen and his team are the guys to actually stand up and do it. So let's go ahead and watch this, guys. As a GameStop investor, this is the best interview that I have ever seen from Ryan Cohen. And it wasn't that long to have the best interview. There was certain parts of it that really gave away everything you ever wanted as far as being invested with GameStop. So here we go. And thanks again to all the supporters of the show, the guys who actually make this possible. It would be Jay, Trove, my creative art team guys and analyst stuff. And then, of course, you have the backbone of the show, who are the moderators. You guys see them. Just put the respect out there for everyone who's involved with this community. Our Discord, over 1,200 active members in our Discord. constant people in and out of there trying to figure out who's the real ones, who's not. But you'll know there's plenty of GameStop investors here with this show. Millions and millions of dollars worth of GameStop shares are controlled right here. So let's go see what we can do for our company. Let's get it.
Most of you have heard this, right? During the frenzy of the midnight release of the much-anticipated Nintendo Switch 2, employees over at the Staten Island GameStop punctured holes in both the cardboard, the packaging, and the screens of the GameStop, right? As they were stapling on the receipts. This instantly became sort of a hot topic on social media. And then, of course, the CEO of GameStop came up with a brilliant idea. How about we turn this into a positive development? So on July 9th, the company began auctioning off what it's calling authentic relics of Staplegate. Right? And this is crazy. We're up almost to 300 bids on this thing. And the stapler, that's the infamous stapler. It's at $250,000. And here's the good news. All the proceeds will be donated to the Children's Miracle Hospital Network, or Network Hospital. All right, let me bring in now the brains behind this and so many other things. GameStop Chairman and CEO Ryan Cohen. Ryan, I got to just ask you. So someone calls you up and says, Ryan, someone at the Staten Island store is stapling holes in the screen. What were your first thoughts when you heard about this whole thing?
We got limited inventory, and they're damaging our limited inventory.
You thought about it like a shopkeeper. You didn't think about the public relations part of it, huh?
I thought about it as we got to get rid of them.
I got you. Well, I'm sure they're probably watching this show from a sofa somewhere. But I love how you turned this into something positive, right? Something uplifting. And let's be honest, your emergence as a CEO of GameStop has been uplifting. It's created a rock-solid groundswell of believers. And so what I did is so many of them reached out to me on X. I told them they could help me ask you the questions today. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get the first question to you. It's from a guest. He's one of my favorite guests. He's loaded up on your stock, Kip Harridge. And his question is, share your views on financial engineering in the GameStop way, and give us a snapshot of what GameStop will look like in 5 or 10 years. That's what everybody wants to know.
I don't have a crystal ball, but if you look at where the company was from when I joined the board in January of 2021, and a few $100 million of debt, losing hundreds of millions of dollars, to where the company is today, $9 billion of cash on the balance sheet, and the retail business is running profitably, then, if you may be able to extrapolate and see where we will be in the future, but time will tell. It depends on macro conditions, but we'll see what happens. But we've come a long way in a really short period of time.
You've come a very long way in a short period of time, but I think...
So in the world of corporate America, 2 to 3 years is a very short time. And the turnaround for GameStop has been since 2023 to now, since Ryan actually took over the position, they have now turned a profit. They were losing $300 million a year. Now they're making 200 to 300. Right now it's 208, trailing 12, but that number will be increased after the next 2 quarters, all the way up to $400 million plus. So to be making $500 million, on that trend, you're still trending up on profits. That's based off of the legacy business and what they've been going up against. So took over a company, went into it, turned it around, and made it profitable. A lot of the claims that private equity says that they do to companies, except when they're stripping down companies, I want to put the identity crisis here. When they strip down companies, they're not necessarily doing it for the benefit of the company or the shareholders. They don't take any of that into consideration. Most of the time, private equity buys in controlling stake, puts their people on the board of directors, and they make very bad decisions. Decisions so much to over-leverage and to drown the company in debt, and then carve out assets for their other investments. There's always a bigger play here. It would be like if Ryan Cohen owned Alibaba, or if he owned more of Bed Bath & Beyond. A lot of people like to say that he owned Bed Bath & Beyond and he was going to merge the two. I think GameStop's the starting point. I do. I've seen other interviews with Ryan. Back when he did Chewy, he sold Chewy, and when he sold Chewy, he sold it for a large amount of money. It was like $3.2 billion. And nobody really knows his true cut of that amount. It must have been massive, but I don't think it was $1 billion. I think it was more like $600 million, $700 million. But he then took that money and started investing it smartly, wisely. Well, guess what? Launch day of Chewy.com, and when it launched as an IPO, he was there. He was there because they were interviewing him saying, well, look at this business that you sold off, and now it's worth $9 billion. And he's actually looking at the camera in the interview. He's like, man, okay. Yeah, it's worth 3 more times than what I sold it for. And when you look at Chewy today, just so that we're clear, it's not that Chewy is a much better run company or anything. He was building the infrastructure of it. Chewy today has a market cap of $16 billion. So for him to sell it for 3, and it's at a market cap of 16, it's 5x higher than what he actually built it for and sold it for. I'm sure he lives with some type of regret, but not really. You live and you learn, and he's learned along the way. This is the way business goes. Like you get in, you get a multiplier, you build it, and do you want to sell it right away? Probably not. Maybe he didn't want to sell it after all. Maybe he could have made it bigger than what it was. But he has that identity now with GameStop, and we'll keep going over that. And I think this time around he's learned that if he just hangs on to things and doesn't sell them, he's worth more. He builds more. It's going to be greater.
I think now everyone's kind of thinking the catalyst, right? A month ago, I took my granddaughter to the American Dream Mall in New Jersey, and it was pretty much empty, except we came up on this one store. It's called Pop Mart. And I mean, it was just brimming with business. These kids were everywhere, and they're doing the collectibles, and they're doing all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, I thought about you. I thought about GameStop immediately. Now, how do you tap into something like that?
I mean, we've moved the business from a big reliance on hardware and software to collectibles, and so we're selling a ton of trading cards, both sports and TCG, and it's a much more durable business. It's not as cyclical as hardware, which, as it's hit driven. The software business, hardware is every 6 to 7 years, and it's TBD in terms of the future of hardware. So we've got a much larger collectibles business today, and generally the business is much more efficient. It's going to be a smaller, less stores, but more profitable company.
So less stores, more profitable. Awesome. I love that part. Just being nimble, right? Agile and smaller. But additionally, he starts talking about you would say hardware versus software versus collectibles. Hardware being the consoles, guys. The actual physical PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Here's the thing. They build them every 5 years, every 6 years. And if your business is going to have a booming time every 5 to 6 years, well, what do you do in that lull area? What are you doing? You have to find a way to make profit in between. So right now is like the perfect storm. Right now you have the Switch 2 that's been released, and it's sold out everywhere, and people are buying it like crazy. That's adding to the top line. The reason why it's adding to the top line is because you were built for this. You were built online and in-house to sell these consoles. The profits are going to be in the memberships, the warranties, and the accessories. That's the profits. Now, the other thing on the outside is going to be Pokemon cards and sports cards. Those are the things that just keep the tills going, the wheels rolling. So when people are out here saying, well, they're not going to they're a Pokemon store. You guys don't understand. They're a sum of all parts store. Okay, they're selling more than just one category. They're selling more than just one thing. You might have the largest console department ever. You also might have the largest Pokemon spot ever. That's what you have right now when you're looking at GameStop. GameStop actually figured this out. Says we need something to drive revenue on those downturns. What is it? Pokemon's great. I have no problem with that. But you're sitting here right now, and you got a new Switch coming out, which is already here. You have a new handheld Xbox thing coming out, which is going to drive markets. You also have Grand Theft Auto 6. It's going to drive the whole industry. So you're going to be in this company, invested in this company at $23 a share, $23.50, and it has everything going for it. You have every single catalyst in front of you. And we haven't even talked about the manipulation of the stock or the said manipulation or the cash on hand or the Bitcoin that they carry or the next business plan. No, we're just talking about the legacy itself is going to increase in value tenfold right here in front of you. And that's what you have with GameStop right now.
And most importantly, we're generating profits every single quarter now. So typically in the past, GameStop's only made money in Q3 and in Q4. And actually, when I joined the board and before I joined the board, GameStop was losing money every single year. I mean, it's hard to appreciate what a piece of crap the business was when I joined the board and what was going on in the boardroom and management. But we're making progress.
Yeah, I actually used to use this as a cautionary tale on a company buying back stock and rewarding CEOs with big bonuses while the company was itself failing. So you're absolutely right about the crappy part of it. Let me ask you about these earnings, the last earnings release. It's really, to me, it was pretty evident when the number came out. Everyone was focused on Bitcoin. Right, and everyone thought you would, because you had so much money, that you would have bought more Bitcoin. What's the Bitcoin part of the strategy here?
I look at it as a hedge against inflation, a hedge against global money printing. We've already made an investment, and we'll see. It depends on the price. So I don't want to lose money. That's the most important thing. And something could be a really intelligent investment at one price, and it could be totally idiotic at another price. So, I haven't called our shots, but we may buy more Bitcoin, or we may not buy more Bitcoin. We'll see what happens.
So in the other interview he did earlier in the day of this interview here, that's when he had announced that he had spent a little over $500 million on Bitcoin. And we know that they announced they had 4,710, but they didn't announce how many he actually had at that price. Right? When he said we spent that much, we don't know. This was like an announcement they had last quarter. We don't know if that number is still the same. It very well could be or should be. So they're at around 105, 106 per Bitcoin. Bitcoin topped out at 123 just the other day. And I believe it's somewhere. Let's go look at it today just so that I have it. You don't have to leave. I'll do it on my side. Bitcoin right now is at 118. So 118,000. So no matter how you cut the math, they're probably up 14,000, 12,000 a share, a coin, I should say. So to have 4,710 at 12,000, not good math, but maybe 50, 60, somewhere in that range, $1 million of profit this quarter that they will have to show somewhere on their sheet. We don't know exactly where it's going to pop up, but we'll see where it does pop up. But 60 million plus interest, which interest could be another 60 million. That's 120 million. And I'll do the math later for you. Don't worry. We'll just keep watching. It's going to be fun to watch these next quarters coming up.
But so it's part of the strategy. Then it's an anti-inflation. It's a hedge against inflation. But if it's the right price, you also see it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
So so you're sitting on $9 billion. I want to share one of the posts we got on X because people are saying, okay, it's a lot of cash, and some want to see you put it to work. One question is, would you consider a dividend or even a special one-time dividend?
The thing with the dividend is you got to pay tax, and so I look at it as I own just over 8% of the company, and granted, we better not do something foolish. But if we don't do something foolish, then better off keeping the money in the company and looking for the right opportunity than going and paying a dividend and paying taxes.
You're speaking of looking for these opportunities. Are you? Because it feels you did the hardest part. You cleaned up a business that was awful, but this next leg up. Are you being too cautious? Folks want to know, where are you looking? Where's the magic coming from, the Ryan Cohen magic? Where exactly is that going to come from? Because it's not going to fall in your lap.
It has to be the right time. We are in a position today where the retail business is profitable. Maybe the future value, when you think about GameStop, has more to do again, this is a guess, but it may have more to do with how we deploy our balance sheet than the cash that the retail operations will generate. But it needs to be the right time. And, the capital markets are funny. They can go, and this happens every 5 or 10 years. They can go from green to red and they don't flash yellow. And so, there may be an opportunity tomorrow. You never know. I mean, we could wake up tomorrow and the markets can be down 20%, and GameStop will be in a position to take advantage of those opportunities when they happen. But,
I got you.
We'll look everywhere.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So this is very important, this part right here. Okay. So for everyone out there, guys, $9 billion. Okay. $9 billion what they have, cash. And if they did nothing, let's say they never added to that cash pile, and we know they don't have a cash burn, we know they make profits. I'm not even going to tack in profits. And you could tack in profits on top of that cash. Matter of fact, I will tack in profits because it's not fair to the calculations. Let's just say that they're going to make, on average, via the ops, okay, operationally, let's just say they make $100 million. I'm going to be fair because I think that's a fair number. So let's just say they make $100 million a year on ops. Okay? On that $9 billion. You take that $9 billion and you will then have, after 5 years, it will be over $12 billion. You didn't have to do anything. You actually earned and made $2 additional billion. $3 billion, I apologize. So, yeah, this is going to be great. 3 more billion, and you're looking at making almost $1 billion a year to the bottom line. 800 million, 700 million a year. When people hear that number, they start factoring in PE ratios, and they start giving you value. What Ryan was saying here was that we are sitting on all this cash, and we're actually waiting for the right opportunity. I want you guys to know something. This is a CEO that is waiting for things to happen. And yes, they're creating all the right things, right? These new avenues to make revenue. It's great. I have no problem with that. Cards, partnerships. They're creating that moat around the company, right? You're doing everything, your own personal private label, just better branding, better business, okay? They're really smart, obviously. They know where to make money on every turn. So margins increase at that point. But when it's time to deploy the cash, when it's time to do the right thing, there's a company out there that's dying. You want to go buy it. You want to go carve it up. You want to be what private equity is. Ryan gets to be private equity, but not the vulture capitalist. He gets to go in there, revamp, create, design, take over, be ours. Our name is GameStop Holdings Corporation. And GameStop has been a holding company for a very long time. But the actual holdings part right now is GameStop has partnerships, but they're not the parent. They're not holding a lot of things yet. You're at the start of it all. Somebody asked me yesterday, guys. I was in this meeting, and somebody said, "Hey, Marantz, how'd you learn how to invest, or what do you know what to invest in and buy?" They asked me that, and I said, well, I changed. Over time, I learned so much, and I was just like, initially it was like just by blue chips, just by, S&P 500, just by things you know. Then the next part was, well, I'm going to buy things that people tell me. If somebody says this is going and we're all going, let's go over there, let's go try to get rich, let's go chase it. And then I found out, no, that's gambling. No, that's not right. That's not the way I want to do it. Believe it or not, it has nothing to do with products. People come up and they go, oh, wait a minute, what about this product? They'll do this one for you. They'll go, this new movie's coming out. It's going to rock the box office. I got to go invest into, AMC, Cinemark, and IMX. And you're just like, what? That's not what drives profits, guys. The product doesn't drive profits. The management does. The execution behind it all. We all sell the same product. We all do. Who's going to do it the correct way? Not cut corners. Not try to take the value out of the product. Who already has it, the just mainline, right? Streamlining for profits. from all the way from digital to physical to final delivery, hitting the street. Who's going to make the money for you? That's the execution of the investment of the actual transaction. That's why I go with GameStop. GameStop has the best professionals when it comes to all of these things included, all into one. So what do I look at when I'm investing, and what do I come out with it all? I come out with leadership. The first thing I look at is leadership. I don't care about the share count. I don't care about the market cap. I don't care about the product. I care about the leadership. That's what I've learned over all these years. You tell me you want to invest into something, I go, perfect. Show me the board of directors. Let's have this conversation. Because these are the people that are going to manage my money. Right? You meet someone for the first time, you go, oh, I want to meet their folks. I want to see their upbringing. I want to see who actually raised this person. Oh, you got some good parents. There we go. Hey, how about this? Where'd you go to school? Oh, awesome. Let me see. Where'd you go to school? Oh, that's a good school. You guys have a good education on you. That's awesome. Well, okay. So what religion are you? Do you have any beliefs? How do you carry yourself? What's your integrity like? What's your credit score? What's your criminal record? There's so many things that you can measure someone off of before you actually give them and say, you know what? Okay, now that's who you are. I'm measuring GameStop every day. I look at it and I go, okay, GameStop. I was asked this question in a DM, and it was very personal stuff. It was a guy who said, hey, man, I've been going to GameStop, and I met with the management team there, and the management team is disgruntled. The management team hates the fact that they're the only ones working. The management team hates the fact that they don't get paid enough, that they're getting paid in shares and not in cash. And what are they going to do with these shares? They can't eat these shares. They're going to sell them the minute they get them. They don't care. And I was just like, okay. So then the guy writing me the thing says, Marantz, what do I do? You do nothing. You're dealing with an incompetent person, someone who doesn't understand the value. If they don't enjoy their job, you don't know what they're going through. There's people out here that forget that they get to drive through little windows and order food, and they get to eat in their car while on their phone, and they get to eat on a paved street. There's people who forget this shit. She gets to work, this manager who's complaining gets to work in a building with running central air, get paid a paycheck, and to do what exactly? A transaction that anyone could do? Fine. They're giving you shares of the company, a portion of the company. This is the part where you have to take ownership. The idea behind owning your company and or being a shareholder is that you will take ownership of it. You will see profits, and when you see losses, you go, well, there's hidden shrink. There's shrink that I don't need. Let me put in some controls into place so that we don't lose additional dollars here. Because every paperclip, every staple, apparently, counts. That's the true value of owning your shares in your company. Let me ask you guys shop at GameStop? I shop at GameStop. I shop there every week. Ask the guys, ask everybody. You guys seen the clips. Do you know what I do when I go in there? There might be an occasional time where I'll take my finger and I'll get rid of some dust. Or I'll move a product and I'll put it back in place. I'll help out. I'll clean up. I'll pick up a piece of trash on the outside. I'll clean up the whole outside. If they had somebody's food left there on the counter, I'll pick it up. As a matter of fact, I was outside of a GameStop the other day, and there was a dirty sock across the parking lot in this area here. And I was just like, sit down, you know what? And I went out there and I just started sweeping up the parking lot. I don't care. It's my company. That's the pride I take in owning it. So I would encourage every employee, if they're not on that level, on that mindset, they're going to be wishing they were 10 to 20 years from now. They're going to be like, holy shit, I actually used to work for that company. And this is who I am today. Hey, a lot of people are going to get rich along the way. A lot of you are. A lot of you guys are going to cash out along the way. You guys are going to see this mountain of people come running for GameStop, and it's going to push the market like you've never seen, because GameStop has all the cash that no one else does. They have the following, they have the backing, they have the leadership. They have everything you want as an investor. Ryan's sitting here telling you they're going to take the opportunities as they come. They're going for it, man. And are they going to make all the right calls? Probably not. There's people out there, I forgot to invest into Amazon. I forgot to invest into Google. I could have done this. I could have done. Who cares? Ryan, there's a lot that he might have missed. Who cares? It's all about making the one that you do have. Just make that one connection. You know, I'm reading you here, Mind Games, and let me tell you something, man. From a leadership standpoint, this is, and I'm in a business of this tenfold. Okay? It is not up to management. Believe this. It is not up to management to inform everyone of everything. I'll tell you what you look for as a manager, because it's so hard to keep running your day-to-day. Your job can't be just having meetings. I can't be out here. I got to be able to teach, yes, while I do the job. But I can't be holding meetings and doing lectures about business philosophy and how to, wear the identity. What's the culture of this company? That's not how it works. I'll tell you how it really works. That one employee that asks you for extra hours. The one employee that walks up and goes, "Hey, boss, just checking to see if you got any extra hours this week." Absolutely. "Hey, boss, I just have a question." "Yeah, what's up?" So I was really thinking about applying for that supervisor position. Do you have any recommendations for me? Absolutely. "Hey, boss, I got a question. How much money do we make a year as a company? How much do we have in profits?" "Oh, you're thirsty for knowledge? Guess what? I got you. You're thirsty for knowledge. You're thirsty for promotions. This is what you look for from a leadership standpoint. If they're not being fed the information when they ask for it, that's the problem. But chances are, these guys are asking to go home early, not come in tomorrow, someone else pick up my shift. I want the weekend off. I can't be tied to the desk. This is not my life. I need to be traveling. I'm an Instagram model. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with people who want to be playing video games and not making the money they need to make to survive. The balance. Find the balance. Mind Games. I'm telling you now, bro. You walk into these stores and you see entry-level employees, and they don't have the mindset that you have as the damn owner of the company. Everyone needs to take a step back. Every GameStop investor needs to take a step back if you don't remember these things. When you walk into that store, and you've been sitting here on this show watching me for 4.5 years talk about GameStop, you love it, you brand it, you respect it. Don't expect Tom, Dick, and Harry to do the same. They're going to be right there complaining the lines are too long, they don't have enough help, they're going to do all the bullshit that the liberal media will ever put in front of you. That it's just too hard? Oh, I'm sorry, you had to work hard today? I guarantee you don't want to be in an LZ anywhere. And if you guys don't know what that means a landing zone. You don't want to be in the military. You don't want to be digging up rocks and foxholes. You don't want to be sweating your ass off in 120 degrees. You don't want to be in a full battle rattle suit with a gas mask on. You don't want to do any of that shit, do you? But you want to complain about the shit you're doing here. Go to a third world country, guys. You'll start loving America real quick. GameStop is a privilege. It's a privilege to be employed in America. Go ask anyone at any job that figures this shit out. They come here and then they send money back home. That US dollar. No, there's a lot more pride to be taken into your employment. And I'll tell you what, you'll never be the CEO, you'll never be the CFO, you'll never be the district manager, if you don't start acting like one and start working like one. You'll never make it. What do you think, they're just going to give it to you because you've been there 20 years? That doesn't work either. That was me back in the day when I worked at Radio Shack. I would clock out for lunch, and when my shift was over, I would stay and sell. They ended up making me the manager at 20 years old. I'm telling you, Chris. Will the members-only videos ever be released to not members with just 51 shares? Bullerino, members-only videos are there for a couple of different reasons. I put things behind paywalls. Okay. Second thing is if you can't afford the $3 a month to watch all the videos that we put on the show, we have 4,000 videos on this show. I'm sure you can find something to watch. But members only videos, that's the incentive for the people that actually pay the $3 a month. I'm telling you right now, $3 a month, bro. I don't know how much you guys spend on something else, but that's the lowest I could do. I did it the cheapest I can do for YouTube. YouTube wants to make money off of this channel, which they do, an ungodly amount, but it's okay. I clip things, I put things out there. Hopefully you get enough content for you. The members only side is just to help, I guess, support the channel and support the things we do. That's it. All right. Let's get back to the interview. I just wanted you to have that mindset. I said I would touch on that topic, mind games. You were talking to me about it too, about these employees that you find that are disgruntled at times. If the manager is acting that way, they shouldn't be the manager. You know what you'll never see out of me? I can say this honest today, and I have 800 employees that I've worked with, over 800 employees that I've worked with. I've worked with thousands of employees, but running numerous shops, being senior operations for what I do, let me tell you, okay? You'll never, and my employees are watching this right now. I know there's some watching. You will never see me have a bad day at work. Never, ever, ever. And I've gone to work with a cut cornea. I've gone to work when people died. I've gone to work when I'm sick. It doesn't even matter. I'll never have a bad day. I walk in, everybody will tell you, I'm the first guy. Hi, guys, let's go get it. We're having a great day. Every day's great. You could never be down. I had an employee once tell me, it's because you get paid more than us. I go, no, that is not why. I was like this when I was pushing carts. This is who you are. Just got to own it, man. It's infectious. Ryan, he's infectious. I watched this interview. I'm like, okay, man, you got me. I got motivated. Keep watching. It gets good.
Yeah, listen, that's how we all do our own individual portfolios as well. I want to ask you about shareholder value. And someone said, hey, what about these convertible notes and the dilution that comes with them? Why does GameStop keep doing them? And how does this add to shareholder value?
Well, they only converted a premium. And so, we've done these convertible notes at a 30% plus premium. And essentially, we're borrowing money at 0%. We're giving a conversion right at 30% plus. So if someone's willing to lend you money at 0%, then it'd be pretty foolish not to take that money, as long as we don't do something stupid with it.
Right.
So if you guys are familiar with the convertible notes, there was a VWAP somewhere in like 21, 22 at the 30%, 29. That's where we're at, 29%, okay? Or $29, I apologize. On both notes. It was like 28.90, 29.85, something like that. So if someone's willing to give you nearly $30 a share, and it's free, and I mean free because you can give the money right back after you create all this interest off of it over the next 5 to 7 years. Think about the amount of money GameStop just made, even at 4%, 5%. What someone keeps forgetting, all these guys are out here talking about, well, you're diluting. And go ahead and read the verbiage. I just want to make sure that this uneducated person who wrote this damn comment. It says, definitely ask about the convertible notes dilution, Charles, why GameStop keeps doing it and how it adds to shareholder value. Well, shareholder, how you doing? There are instruments to borrow money. There are instruments to raise capital. The two most used are convertible notes, and in this case would be ATMs at the market, offerings of shares. That would be true dilution instant. Right? We offer these shares, they buy them, we diluted the flow, X amount of shares. It is this other instrument where you actually offer up convertible notes. They hold a note for $1,000. Every note is worth $1,000. I don't know if you guys know this part, but you then get shares for the note. So it'd be 33 point something shares for that $1,000 what they sold it at. And so if it's worth 33 shares a piece, each note, they have the option to then convert at a certain strike price, that's what happens. So in this case, after 3 years, if that borrower, if the lender decides to go ahead and convert, GameStop can buy back those notes. The premium that would have to be set out, I believe it was like $38 and some change. Okay, well, if that's the price of the stock at the time, why are you guys mad? You're up 30 more percent. You're up an amazing amount of money at that point. Even now. Hey, guys, what do you mean $38, Marantz? This is not... No, what you're not understanding, borrowers, what you're not understanding, shareholders, is that GameStop gave themselves a price that Wall Street's not giving you. This is why people like Tony De Niro, why he has it all wrong. Because GameStop went ahead and said, listen, we're going to offer up our shares, dilution or not, we're going to offer up our shares on convertible notes at $30. Guys, they've got it down here. Wedbush has a price target of $13.50. You got Tony De Niro saying that the stock is only worth $15 fundamentally. Where do these guys get their math from? Why is Wall Street willing to pay $4 billion for GameStop shares at $30 a piece, and Wall Street is saying it's only worth $13? Do you see the problem with your logic? You can explain away everything you want. That's not the truth. The minute someone's willing to buy you for 30, okay, at 0% interest, that is what you are worth. Now there's 600 million shares that are about to float out. That's the new dilution that they're talking about. I'm sorry to break it to you guys. That's not dilution. That is, well, in this case, price anchoring, which is what you want. But at 600 million shares for $30 a piece, that puts you at $18 billion worth of what? Market cap. So if we have $18 billion of market cap off the shares themselves at the valuation given, well, let's go ahead and work on that next part. Let's work on the earnings. Let's work on more cash, because that's what's coming your way at this point. They're giving you cash and you get to earn interest. You know, everybody says, well, you 0%. You get no value for that. It's 4% interest. You get no value for that. I was like, oh, okay. You know what's the difference, guys? The difference is this. If you gave me 4%, just listen to me, okay? 4% on $1,000. What do I make? I make $40. I make $40 on 1,000. It's not much. But what if I had $1 million? What if I had $1 million and now I'm earning $40,000? That's a big difference. No matter how you cut it, I could give you back the $1 million. I made $40,000, right? You gave me the $1 million to hold on to for 5 years. I made $40,000 every year for free. Here's your $1 million back, but I get to keep the $200,000 I just made. Well, guess what? Start thinking bigger. GameStop got $1 billion. Now they make $40 million every year. They're making an additional $200 million for every billion given to them. If you go and do that math, they already borrowed out $4 billion, guys. Okay? $4 billion. Every year it's given to them, they're going to be making how much? $800 million? Over those 5 years? So GameStop gets to generate $800 million over 5 years of profit because someone's willing to let them borrow that money while they convert. You can dilute all you want to do. I don't give a shit. I get to keep this money. That's it. I just got to give you these shares that are worth 30. What's our market cap at? Where's our value at, guys? We're right there, the S&P 500. We're already here, but you know what's the best part about it? Here's the part that no one tells you. That not only did GameStop hand out $1.5 billion worth of convertible notes at one price, an elevated price, there's your diluted float. They did another dilution for $2.7 billion. On top of that, 1 quarter later, who's willing to keep buying more into a diluted float, right? We're about to find out because when GameStop gives you another $30, right? Because you can't go below 27, below 23, wherever we're at right now. I'm saying on conversion, if you understand. No, you can't. I'll show you the chart. Don't worry. But GameStop is going to offer more convertibles that have more private money coming in. Some private money out there, $4 billion came into GameStop in the last year, the last half year. $4 billion, that's a crazy number right now, certainly with what's going on. So now you mean to tell me GameStop next quarter do another convertible note, dilute the float even more? Who's buying this dilution? We only have 1 billion shares in the coffers. What if we actually max that out with convertibles the whole way through? You now raised off of 1 billion shares, okay, at $30 a pop. You raised $30 billion. Well, valuation-wise, they were willing to pay 30, and the float is $1 billion. Now your company's worth $30 billion at the bottom. I don't think people really have done this math. I don't think these guys even think like I do. Like when I say what I'm telling you right now. Maximize the value of your company. Don't worry. The transition, the pivot, what you're going to buy next, that's all coming. You have to have investors sitting here waiting for it to come. Ryan has them. He absolutely has them. Have you guys seen the tweets? Have you seen the pictures he takes with sultans and billionaires from Qatar and President Trump and at the Mar-a-Lago? And he's done it all. Keep watching.
We've done these convertible notes at a 30% plus premium, and essentially we're borrowing money at 0%. We're giving a conversion right at 30% plus. So if someone's willing to lend you money at 0%, then it'd be pretty foolish not to take that money.
I want to say thank you to Derek. Derek, thank you for the super chat for Binks. It's a heartbreaking weekend, man. I'm just telling you now, bro. I walked in there, and my wife was looking at Binks' videos, and she's just crying. I'm just like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, Mama, we're not getting another cat. She goes, I have all three. I have all three in a picture. You guys don't understand. My wife, if I could ever explain to you what happened in my house, I was live streaming at the time. You guys have no idea. We found 5 kittens. I was live. We found 4 kittens. I apologize. We found 4 kittens live. Well, I was live. I was live on the show. My neighbor knocked, and I had a crazy neighbor at the time. And she goes, hey, they just had babies in your backyard. And I was like, what? And there was 4 baby kittens. And that was the same week that Ryan Cohen announced that he was doing a 4-for-1 split for GameStop. Swear to God, put that on everything. You guys had to watch the show at the time. And I was like, yo, we got these 4 kittens. Then my brother-in-law found a 5th kitten on the way at his house. So we're already nursing these ones back up to health. He brought that one over, and now we had 5. So we're sitting here, and we got baggies. We got bottles and baggies and everything. And we have 5 apple boxes, and we put the animal liners inside, the little whatever, the pet liners inside when they go like pee and poop. And then we just fed them around the clock, kept them in their own box, had to cover them up, make sure they don't climb out because they climb out. We had to like find them and put them on. And we were on kitten watch for months. Everybody, you only sleep every 2 hours. They're up. They're trying to eat. They're hungry. Boom, boom, boom. We don't have their parents. We don't know where they were. It's just us. Raised them all. My wife ended up falling in love with 2 of them. And then they ended up passing. They had got sick. And then Binks was still around. And we have them. My wife has a whole shrine for these dudes. She's a crazy cat lady, whatever. But it was fun. I love these cats. And I love the whole run. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, okay, so back to the whole story. But thank you, Derek, for all love and support of the channel. The story is this, guys. GameStop got free money. Believe it. Even if they were to buy the shares at the 30% premium, that's still a great valuation for GameStop. Much higher than our buy price. And this is why all the insiders are just buying in the 20s, because they know the company's being sold off and offered to people above 30, which is perfect. is where you want to be.
As long as we don't do something stupid with it.
Right. So obviously we got to talk about short selling. Short selling in GameStop has been legendary. At one point, it probably was valid considering, again, past management. Just about everyone's asking about three things when it comes to this. First of all, why GameStop? And do you see any form of illegal synthetic shares or whatever it might be, illegal shorting? And what are you doing to fight back against this?
Even from when I made my original investment, I was fascinated at how much hatred there was towards an investment in GameStop. It was one of those things where, you would tell someone, invested in GameStop, and they'd be like, what? What are you invested in GameStop for? And so there's always been a lot of people on the other side of the trade, and I have my own personal views on it. I think that it's un-American to bet against business, but it's a free market. If you want to be on the other side, no problem. And if things work out, then those shorts ultimately need a cover, and that could ultimately be a good thing. So I don't think it's all bad. I don't really have much respect for short sellers, and someone who's ultimately not smart enough to find someone successful, they have to bet on someone's failure. But if things work out, then they got to cover. So
I love it. You guys got to know his identity is everything we've always said. Everyone's putting money on the loss, right? The losing team. It's easy to bet on losing teams, especially when you're making them lose. That's my opinion on that. But if you hear him, he's telling you, he says, hey, there's a lot of people on the other side of the trade. And it's much bigger than people could ever imagine. For there to be more people on the other side of the trade, when he says a lot of people, you guys got to think about all the plus side here. The plus side is 10 billion right now. So the positive is 10 billion. What's the negative? How many people are against it at this price? And every time it goes up, somebody pushes it back down. It can run all the way to 80. Bring it back down to 20. Okay. So you can drop it down 75%. Perfect. We're going to run from here. We run up again. What happens now? You're going to push us back down to what? A new plateau of 40? We already went from 10 to 20. People know this. Went from 10 to 20. That's 100%. We can go up another 100%. You have new shorters, right? New people to bet against it. But at some point, the material that comes out is going to beat out the story. There's not going to be a reason to short. There is no reason to short right now. There's not a reason to short it at all. Nope. Nobody can give me a clear reason why. There's not a metric that they use to measure that says it's okay to short today. Not one. And Ryan's telling you that right now. He says, well, ultimately they're going to lose, so it could be beneficial. Yeah, it's going to be beneficial, all right. It's going to be a monster. He has to watch how he says it, but I'll promise you, I don't. It'll squeeze. It'll pop, even at 20% short like it is right now, reportedly.
Let him short.
Yeah. And I also, to be honest with you, I
don't really have much respect for short sellers, and someone who's ultimately not smart enough to find someone successful, they have to bet on someone's failure. But if things work out, then they got to cover. So let them short.
Yeah, and I also, to be honest with you, I
just read the dumbest thing in the comments ever. Like, I don't know who you are, right, in speed. Like, you've never been here before. And so when you come in, you say, Ryan is ready to bail out the shorts. He's going to capitalize on the shorts. Will we shareholders benefit? Like, this is the most ignorant thing that you can say to anyone who's been invested with GameStop from day one. And even if you're not, even if you're day 2, day 1, day 3, I don't care. Ryan is the shareholder. How is it any different? How in the hell are we going to benefit if he doesn't? If Ryan benefits, we benefit. Ryan's the largest shareholder in the world. This is the part, man, I haven't got there yet, but you're pissing me off. You know what? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Never seen you a day in my life, and I never will again. Because you took the time to type up ignorance. Don't worry.
It's the shorts out there, particularly the large organized shorts, they've always had a platform on financial media. So they built these big short positions. Then they go out and bash the companies.
Yes, Charles. You mean every single channel, every single YouTuber, every Reddit post, every Twitter profile, all the bullshit? Absolutely. Hear it again. They have huge short positions, and they use media to do it.
Let them short.
Yeah, and I also, to be honest with you, it's the shorts out there, particularly the large organized shorts, they've always had a platform on financial media. So they built these big short positions. Then they go out and bash the companies, which I always thought was sort of unfair as well. Have you looked into any illegal activity with respect to the shorts, the sort of synthetic shares, or anything out there where, a lot of your shareholders are concerned that these shorts never seem to run out of stocks, define these stocks as short?
I'm not scared of the short sellers.
Okay.
They can short the stock. It's okay.
All right. Hey, let's talk about some.
I'm spending my time on the actual business. Ultimately, the stock will take care of itself. It's really focusing on the business and.
Well, not right now, baby. Not right now. Oh, okay. You don't want them? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. My wife brought me something. I just said I don't want it. Oh, I'm doing the show. She's trying to feed me some poison, bros. We're good. So here's the thing, guys. I love that Ryan's like, I'm not focused on that. Other CEOs start hiring Wes Christensen, and they start saying things like, we got to get all these synthetics, and we got to find they're manipulating trades, and they're, look at this, what they're doing, and look at the markets, and they're trading off of dark pools, and they're spoofing trades, and I don't give a shit, bro. Do whatever the hell you're going to do. We're out here making a better business. You focus on the business, the stock price, and I'll tell you why. Because Ryan's time horizon is infinity. He's here forever. He's going to make you feel stupid. He doesn't like shorts. He doesn't respect shorts. He despises shorts. Guess what he gets to embarrass you. He's going to be right there. Oh, Michael Packer's invited to the funeral, babe.
Frankly, if people are in GameStop and they're looking to make a quick buck, then that's not the investment for them. You should invest in any investment for the long term. If you're day trading, then you take all kinds of risks.
Well, I think by now you know that a large portion of your shareholders are not day trading. They're what we call diamond hands. They believe, and their belief. They believed in initially, I think, to fight the system. To your point, they saw the same hatred that you saw. This hatred from the financial media, this hatred from Wall Street, this hatred from the elites who've looked down on them. They've looked down on small companies, and they've been able to stomp and trample over these people from the beginning of time. So GameStop became sort of this symbol, right? This symbol of fighting back. And people bought into it, right? I bought shares because I wanted to partner with them, not because I believed in GameStop. This is before you even came on board, but because I love to fight back this nation. That's how this country was born. That's why America's the greatest country in the world. So you've got folks who are in there with you. They're in the trenches with you. They are diamond hands, and I'm glad you're on the show today to help share your ideas and your vision, because that's all they really want. Words of encouragement, to understand what's going on with the company, to understand what the game plan is. So that's why I'm really happy that you're doing this right now for them.
You're preaching to the choir. I mean, look, it's all, pardon my French, it's all a scam. You look at.
Oh, wow, they blocked it out. Don't block it out. He said it's all fucked up.
Private equity. You look at venture capital. You look at all of these pools of capital, which really exploded since the financial crisis, and it's all perverse financial incentives. They don't whether they make money or not for their LPs. They're getting management fees. So they want to deploy the capital as quick as possible, and they're great at sales, and they're making their 2 and 20, and even if it doesn't go up, then they're still making 2%. I'm a retail investor, so I make money if the stock goes up, and I don't make money just by going and sitting on my hands. I only make money if the business does well. So that was the setup of the trade. You basically had all of these elites, fancy hedge funds and private equity and everyone else who knows who was shorting the stock, and then you had myself as a retail trader, and you had a bunch of other retail traders on the other side of the trade.
Yeah, and to your point, I point this out at least once a week, probably more often, since 2009, how everything has changed. The financialization of our nation, where money just creates money, and it's all about gimmicks and product, and instead of real, true innovation and hard work. And that brings me to something I just want to just get you to share a little bit, Ryan, just your own personal background, your own personal success story, because I think it's really something that can motivate a lot of people.
Where do you want me to start?
Well, we've got about a 5-minute window, so you decide.
I built this pet food company. Someone, I had an idea to sell 30-pound bags of dog food in the mail, and we ended up going head-to-head against Amazon, built a bunch of big warehouses, and ultimately ended up delivering a really high-touch, better experience focused on the pet category. And I've always been an entrepreneur. I learned from the best. My father never went to college. And thank God, by the way, if you look at what's going on now in the colleges today. So that's a competitive advantage, too, as far as I'm concerned. But I've always been an entrepreneur, and I invested in GameStop originally as a passive investment, actually. And as I engaged with the board, they had originally reached out to me to join, and they offered me a single board seat. And I was, ultimately just be a patsy, one of whatever 10 or a dozen people on the board. And as I really got an understanding for what goes on in these corporate boardrooms where you've got these board members that are collecting, I think on average, like $350,000 a year. The average board director makes in the S&P 500 just to serve on a board and to do absolutely no work. And so as I saw what was going on, and everything was in the name of corporate governance, there was nothing about the business or shareholders or anything like that, I felt like I needed to file a 13D and really just clean out the boardroom. And so today we've got a much smaller board, and we've got a significant portion of our board that's invested in the company with their own money, and there's no compensation. And, we'll see what happens with GameStop. Hopefully things work out well.
Well, I can tell you, hopefully.
It was like the most legendary breakdown of what happened. I am the biggest fan of Ryan Cohen. I always was. And what it told you was that he walked into a boardroom where he was one of 12, and it was basically, hey, private equity's here. We're all collecting checks, and we're all just waiting for the exit date. That's basically what it comes down to. And I've told you this. I've told you how it works. And we've educated ourselves. We read everything. We watched every Connect the Dots videos. There's 92 parts of Connect the Dots. And as you watch them stage by stage, they systematically make sense. You're like, wait a minute. This hedge fund went ahead and put these people into place, and then the company went bankrupt. And then you go back and and then they went over to this company. They put these same people in place, and then they went bankrupt. And you just keep doing that, rinse and repeat. And now I'm watching all the former GameStop executives. They're all at companies right now that are buried with debt and stretched out thin, and they'll be going bankrupt as well, and or carved out to other people. And you're like, okay, that was the play. That's how it all happened. And so once you find the playbook of what private equity is doing, I think Ryan, the biggest part about Ryan Cohen is he's so young. He was 20-something when he started building Chewy, sold it off. He's in his 30s. He had never been on a board of directors for a company other than the one he built. So when he walks into companies like Bed Bath & Beyond and or even GameStop, he's still like deer in the headlights. He's like, okay, well, wait a minute. What's going on here? Okay, what are we doing? And there's so many moving parts and so many moving pieces. And you're sitting there, and in the name of corporate governance, you could say anything. It's like, we're going to take a vote to increase the float. We're going to take a vote to do this share buyback. We're going to increase. And he was just like, wait a minute. Hold on. You're trying to catch up to it. And before you ever catch up to it, they can nickel and dime you in it. Go ask Bed Bath & Beyond and how that happened. But when it's too far gone and you can't make a change and you can't do it, you pull out and you say, no, I don't want any part of it. And they'll still smear you. They'll use court systems. They'll use, headlines. They'll be like, hey, you had 32 felonies against you when it was, one act of whatever it may be. There's just a lot of things I've seen in the media to overplay situations and overstate them. Everybody can overreact, but what you can't do, you can't marginalize. And that's what's happening right now, guys. Guys, the reason why I'm showing you this interview and we're talking about Ryan Cohen and him finally speaking after all these years. The question in the chat was, Marantz, why do you think Ryan's actually talking right now? One, I think that he knows what's about to happen. And he wanted to go out into the front of the world and tell you guys, here's where we're at. Here's my mindset. Here's my temperament. Here's the temperature of the room. But we're about to rock it. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to rock it. And you know why we're going to rock it, guys? Oh, you didn't. I mean, they muted him. That's fine. I don't mind. Stay. If Stacks mutes you, I support Stacks. That's just the way it goes down. The reason why it's going to, I'll tell you right now. Let's finish this off. We only have a minute left.
Everyone's hopeful, but I tell you, just listening to you and knowing your background and just knowing who you are, we feel pretty good and pretty confident that things will work out. Just have to have the right patience. Ryan, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much, and much success to you.
Charles, I want to say that, I don't do much with the mainstream media, but, I know we've spoken in the past, and I like you. You're a good guy. So we need more people like you in the mainstream media.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks, Ryan.
And they do, because, when he was doing his interview with CNBC and those guys, those idiots, they were laughing. They were just bringing up staplers and underwear, and they wanted to focus on bullshit, and he wanted to focus on GameStop, and then they wanted to try to pin him into a corner. Are you more like this? Are you more like that? What do you think about that? And it was a dumb interview, and he was like, hey man, this is not where the conversation should be going. Here's where the conversation is going to go, guys. Okay? If you're looking at these charts right now, and I go over these financials every day, every show, I want you guys to remember them and never forget them. Right now, GameStop's coming into quarter two. Quarter two versus last year, they were at $738 million of top-line revenue. Are we going to approach $798? I don't know. I don't think we can, but with the Switch 2, you might get somewhere near there. We don't know how much inventory they carry, and so I don't know. I'll just put it that way. But what I do know is we're going to get really close on gross profit. Gross profit, last year quarter one versus this year quarter one, we beat it out by $6 million, $8 million. So we had an increase of $8 million on gross profit, while top line was down $150 million. So I think gross profit is going to be massive. I do. I also think adjusted is going to be crazy when you come through with operating income. We had 24.7. When you look at it on total, I believe we were hiding, I said like $30 million. So you're going to be way up there. I know we came in at 83, but 44. And we should have came in 44.8. We should have came in at like 70 something. So we left some money on the table, which is okay. Asset write down right here. Here it is. So 35 on the table is what we left. We could have had that added in. Okay, 35. So you're looking at around $60 million operating income is where I'm coming out on the flip. So 60 over here. I'm going to go ahead and go with that. We're positive 30 million for the quarter on ops, just on ops. Okay. That's because you're going to get this back. You're going to get the 277. You're getting that back. You're still going to make the gross profit of 248, but you're going to get back this SG&A. SG&A is going to be down to around 220. So that's coming down. So you get $77 million back. You're plus 50, and life's good. Okay. Now you're going to add in interest. You're going to have $50 million plus interest. Now this is the tricky part. Right now, if we're operating off the premise that we have $6.1 million, then interest is only going to be around 60 million, 57 million, somewhere there. But if we're going to use the full 9 billion, if we're going that route and it's making interest, we don't know if you can make interest for the whole period. You're looking at like $70 million in interest. $70 million off of the 40 that was, you're getting $30 million back extra. So you're getting 30 plus 50, you're already at $80 million. Now, $80 million worth of profit for the quarter versus we don't even know if you're going to be able to add in the Bitcoin. If you add in the Bitcoin, because they were saying about the new accounting rules, that you're going to have to show what we call unrealized gains, GameStop's up $50 million right now. So you're looking at $130 million right here on this line on net income. So on net income, $130 million is what you're looking at, or 80. One of the two. It doesn't matter. It's 70 million more. It puts your number so far out right here. It puts you up at around 280 almost. 280 plus is where you're going to be on this number. If you can add in the Bitcoin, well, then guess what? You're at $330 million in net income. That's right now. We still have a full quarter to go. Quarter three. I want to show you this. Quarter three. Remember, look at here. Gross profit. If you don't think we're going to get close or beat it, look what we did with less amount of top line. Okay, because our margins are massive. Yes, they're massive. So you're going to have an additional flip here, because look at what the SG&A was back then. We know we're at 220. We know we're at lower than this. So you're already getting $60 million back. So you're going to be plus 40. You're going to have not only plus 40, you're also going to have an additional 30 there. You're going to have a full quarter of $9 billion. So you're going to have around $50 million more dollars. $50 million more dollars in quarter three. And I don't know if Bitcoin's going to go up in that quarter, but Bitcoin's been going up quarter after quarter over the last year. But if you have $30 million more dollars, $40 million more dollars, doesn't matter. That's going to put you really close to 380. You're going to be at that 380 threshold. And then you have another couple of more hundreds of millions of dollars to make here. Same thing. You're going to have an additional 30 million here. You're going to get some back off of SG&A because, yeah, you do hire for holidays, but I have a feeling the Switch is going to be pushing this quarter. I have a feeling that you're going to have a lot of Pokemon. I think that they've understood how to make money and keep the profits themselves. So gross profit margin being 34.5 right now. Last Christmas, we were at what, 28, 29? 28.33, 29.99. 31.17. Yeah, we're at 34.5, guys, and it only goes up. You know why it only goes up? Because at adjusted, you'd be making a whole lot more on operations. You'd be making a whole lot more off of sending out cards and partnerships and memberships and everything you want to see GameStop do. They're going to make more. They're going to do more. That's why their cash flow has been 12% and 25%. And even as long as you have positive cash flow, guys, your company's a positive company. As long as your profit margin is in the positive, you're a profitable company. Your operating margin has switched from negative to positive. That's where we're at right now. And that all stems from the break point of, hey, we do more with less. That's where you come out with GameStop. So you're going to be looking at $500 million. $500 million at the end of this year, pushing all the way up for the next year to $800 million in profit. I'm telling you, it's phenomenal what happens when you deploy that cash. When you start throwing it out there like a fish or like a fisherman, like a hook in the sea. Just throwing it. Well, let me show you. Let me show you what happens. This is how it all works. I'm showing you all the fundamentals in the world, guys, so you guys understand where we're at. But now, here comes the real shit. Here comes the checkpoint. We checked down here, all the way at $9.95. We finally made a profit. Boom, we're out of the zone. We're taking off. That's with $6 million of profit. We ran from $10 all the way to $80. We were there, 10 to 77, whatever it was. We ran. Then come back down, boom, 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 boom. A quarter ago, we came in at $131 million of profit. Well, hi, everybody. Trailing 12 is double that after this quarter. Guess what we're walking along? This line right here, this purple line that we drew, and that purple line actually comes off the weekly from way before, guys. Way before. And it just so happens that this push down from the market, this push down, we went all the way up, they knocked us down, gap down. All the volume in the world was short. Look at this big volume candle here. It took 172 million shares of volume on the short to take us all the way down to the bottom where we could never go below that purple line. Remember, Ryan Cohen, I drew the purple line. I drew it from way back over here at the $9 mark, way over here, and from the previous levels of support. So when I drew it all the way through, you don't think Ryan watches the show? He said, yeah, Marantz drew that line. That's the bottom. I got to buy in. Boom. Buy in at these levels. You know where you're at. Here comes the next buy-ins, right? Everybody's in this damn stock at this price right here. Everybody's in. And now we're going up again. And we're going to keep walking up. And guess what, guys? You're here on the daily. I'm here on the weekly. This is the weekly chart. We'll have another week where we go sideways right here. I have a feeling because I go to the 1 hour charts. Okay? I'm going to show you something on the 1 hour. I might even do the 2 hour. Let me do the 2 hour. It's fun to watch it on the 2. So this is the 2 hour right here. Okay? Do you guys see what I see? Do you see what I see? Let me show you. We're here. There it is. You have a trend line. And it spoke to me. It spoke to me. Now, the reason why it spoke to me is because you have one trading day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. IV's very low. I know people are getting excited. I think we take a step out of this triangle and get to the next one. I think we get up to the $24. I think we push back up. We complete this other side of the cup, and then we handle on out. I think this is going to happen in the next 3 days. I don't think we're going to actually come down because we don't have far to go down. There's not much there. If I go over to the 30-minute timeline, 30-minute timeline proved to me that was the support, that bottom was the support right there. The reason why I tell you that is because it had a huge retraction. I thought it was here earlier in the day, bounced back up. This thing went sideways. They pushed it down one more time with the largest candle. The largest candle of the day was 1.1 million shares right at the end on the 30-minute. If I go look at the 5-minute, I'm going to show you. This is what they did. Finally pushed it down. Boom. Here came all the volume. The minute they hit down here at 23.13, they said, oh, hell no. Right back up. Right back up, and it just takes you right back. You hit the ground, boom. There is no keeping this company down on the 30-minute. Touch the line, go right back up. Here we go. We go sideways, 23.30. I know these are penny battles, guys, but it's penny battles because it's on a compressed timeline. I think we're busting. I think we're busting coming up next week. I think it's going to be good for the stock, but more so, I think the weekly tells you everything you want to know about this company. I think Ryan's right. I think that's why he's out in the news right now, because he knows this thing's going to pump. I don't need Roy and Kitty to come out and start making memes and videos. I think we're here. The recent bundle selling GME, been doing online Pokemon cards and Nintendo Switch 2s online, has been great in selling out. Such a great idea to add both value and revenue for the sales. Okay, let's talk about that too. Okay. This is my last part because I got to get going. I have a lot to do today. And I know it's a Saturday. I'm usually off on Saturday and stuff, but no, I got stuff to do. Let me tell you. So GameStop sells a lot of stuff. And the idea that GameStop can't sell a booster box of Destined Rivals, right? Look at this. Destined Rivals is here. They have all these booster boxes. They have all this stuff going on. And you go in there and you say, well, you know what? There's packs of cards that they can't sell. There's slabs on the website that they can't sell. There's stuff not selling. This is what they come up with. They put a slab in a box. They put the 2 packs that probably don't sell. Maybe it's Surging Sparks. Maybe it's something that they got a hold of that they don't want to sell. Maybe they're just putting it together and they're making crazy money off of this. There's a secondary market that are selling these for $100 a piece. Everybody's trying to buy this for $60, and the rest of the world's selling it on eBay for $100. Go check. It's in the Discord. They're showing you. This is how you actually get to move your inventory. Remember I told you it was brilliant? They had all these cards, and people couldn't understand. You're selling power packs? You're selling the power packs. And remember when they had all those cards that they couldn't sell the first year? They were like, man, let's go put them in a box. Let's go sell them out. And guess what? They sold out like crazy. Now you got 9,000 cards on the website, right? Okay, what's not selling? What's turning? They can do all the analytics they want. Put it in a box. Someone's going to buy it. See this one right here, guys? I'm doing a show. Hey, Anthony, just so you're aware, Anthony, okay? Because I don't want to keep secrets from everybody. I'm going to tell him, okay, Anthony? I'm going to tell you something, too. Turn off the TV. Is there anybody around, Anthony? And you know what I mean. Get your guy out of there, okay? Hey, listen to me. No, I don't want you here. I don't want them here. I just want you here. Oh, man, he's there? Okay. I'm not going to say anything, then. Yeah, AJ's there, my guy. You guys don't know about my biggest fan, my guy, man. My guy. I made a promise to the stream a long time ago. I do these card openings and stuff, right? And I got some cards here that I opened when I opened up Prismatic for the very first time. And oh no, he's fine. Hey AJ, look at AJ. You can watch the show, AJ. You're good, bro. Don't worry. Remember when I opened up the packs of Prismatic and I got these, bro? Remember I was so excited. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Oh, look at all these. Right? Okay. AJ, I made you a promise. I said I was going to give these to you. This one right here is for your sister, and this one's for you. Now these things, man, I already checked the grades on them. You send them in, whatever. But I said I'm going to give them to you myself. I'm going to keep that promise. Don't worry. I got you, bro. Okay? So, those are going to AJ and his sister. I don't know the sister's name. I don't want to know. Leave it out. Leave it out the stream. Those are out. I got this big Charizard too, AJ. Do you think you want the big Charizard as well? You think you'd want that too, bro? It's pretty big. It's a big Charizard. I think you'd probably want it, bro. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I'll find a way to get that to you too. Don't worry about it. We're going to be good, bro. I'll find a way, AJ. Hey, AJ, you never know, man. You just never know. But I got some... Guys, I still haven't even opened it. People are selling for $100. What do you think it's going to be worth in the future? I might not ever open it, bro. I might not. But this thing right here... I had a guy show up to me yesterday pulled up on me with a pocket full of cards, bro. And he had some hits. I go, man, I got some hits too. Yeah, I do have some hits, man. They're beautiful. Damn, I got some hits. Oh, I couldn't believe that card right there from the Prismatic box, the promo card, is going for $380. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god. They're like, yeah, bro. How much you think the Prismatic, the SPS, the SPCs, whatever? How much you think it costs? Oh man. They're like, yeah, you're right. They're $300. I guess the card should go for $380. Who knows? All right. Well, I'm happy you guys are here. I gotta take off. I love you guys. I wanted you to see the interview with Ryan Cohen. We got a boss. That's a boss. He's there forever. He's not going anywhere. He hates shorts. And so do I. That's why I'm wearing pants. No, I like shorts. Short sellers, they're going to lose on this one. Blurb, yeah, what's up, man? It says, in your opinion, what would be the catalyst besides profit that will send this stock? I think PSA cards are great, but not the catalyst. I think you don't understand what we're saying. It has nothing to do with for you to dismiss PSA cards, to be like, they're great, but it's not the catalyst. No, it is the catalyst. Like, you don't understand. How can I put this? Are you familiar with like professional athletes? Like, you're out there and you're gonna say like, you'll hear something like, Tom Brady's the greatest. And then they'll be like, it's because he wins all those Super Bowls. I want to know when he's going to win the next Super Bowl so we can call him the greatest. Never do you take into consideration that maybe he practices more, he does more on the day-to-day, he has a better routine, he just trains harder. No one's factoring in what they do on the day-to-day. They're just factoring in the Super Bowl, how he plays in the big game. He's never going to play great in the big game if he doesn't do all these little things correctly. All these little things are day-to-day transactions for GameStop. All these little things, all these little profits, all these these incremental things, that's how you make the bigger announcement. That's how you get to say, you know what? Here's what we are. We're a 10% profitable company. We ops profits 10%. This is 20. This is 15. We have cash margins of this. It's all based off of what you do on the day to day. I don't need a catalyst, a huge headline. Be like, they partnered up with so and so. That's not value. When you partner up with someone, and that's a huge announcement, and or you launch something brand new, that's a huge announcement. No. Who's launching it? GameStop is. You know what GameStop's reputation is? Profit, execution, leadership, cult-like members. This is what gives you value. I'm telling you, man, you got to do more than just meet me at the headline. If that's the case, if this is the way you invest, then the equivalent would be to announce this is the brand new trade. This is the trade. We just traded for so-and-so. They haven't even played a game yet, and you're giving them value for the trade. No. They still got to play the game. How well are you playing it? Don't dismiss the PSA connection. That's the greatest connection. It shows intention. It shows execution. It shows that GameStop could take a system, integrate that system within their own. You're talking about up-to-date mechanics. When people say, oh, it's an antiquated system, they're in a DOS program, they're this, they don't even understand what it takes. What it takes for you to walk in, give a card, and they take a picture of the card, boom, 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 on a tablet, they send it off. They have a whole system that they integrated, taught and trained, bought and paid for, so that you can go ahead and do something that's revolutionary, that changes the industry. That has value. Now I'm showing you a model, a scale, adaptability. I can show you how I do things. You don't believe it? You ever think about retail? Go look at Amazon and how they can just throw items in the cart and the shit just adds up on their totals. Or you go to Sam's Club and you can shop on your phone and then you just get to walk out. You don't have to go to a cashier. All these revolutionary things, they have value. And guess what? You didn't get an increase in stock price. There wasn't like this. There wasn't this wave of like investors because all of a sudden you gave people cruise control in a car. Hey, this guy has heated seats. Well, this van has 16 cup holders. Well, this no. These are all added value. It's how you execute with it, how you sell it. Ryan is selling you the story that, hey, I've got this company that has $9 billion. We have the ability to do whatever we would like to do, and we will. When the market corrects, we're jumping in. We're going to do whatever we want. We're going to look at everything we want to buy. You might even be able to buy these collectibles, these cards, with cryptocurrency. Well, guess what? A lot of crypto that you're willing to accept, if you've been in this ecosystem for this long, it appreciates in price. It doesn't depreciate. I know what my wife's making. My daughter made these? Damn. All right. I don't know. My daughter's been trying out for something. I don't know what she's trying out for. She's been cooking a lot lately. She must have like a dude that she's trying to impress. Well, the only dude she's impressing is me. This shit. Hold on. Let me try this out. It's a little bacon and egg and cheese. Bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Oh, yeah. Oh. I gotta go. Hey, little man, stop asking for a catalyst. You already have it. The catalyst in GameStop is you. As an investor, when you believe in something and you can see it, and then you get to make it happen yourself. I can't tell you the countless amount of people that I have touched with this message over the years. I have been preaching and speaking about GameStop for the last 4.5 years, every single day. And I have gone from one person to the next and convinced them about what this is. Not really convince them, but educate them. They are now forever shoppers at GameStop. I have people walk up to me and go, "Hey, boss, I support your company." And I'm talking about people walking the street. There's so many people that have changed what they do when it comes to GameStop. I have so many investors. I have a reach of over, I think, 40,000 followers on all platforms combined. Over 40,000. That's how many people interact with me when it comes to GameStop. Okay. Well, how many of them have started buying shares and hold shares, even yourselves included? Maybe the information is correct. Maybe the message is correct. Maybe all you got to do is be willing to listen. Instead of coming to the table with, okay, but what? Okay, but. In your opinion, what would be the catalyst besides profit that will send this stock, I think PSA, that will send this stock where? What is it that you're missing? Guess what? If GameStop goes all the way to $2,000 a share, okay, you're going to sell it. And then where are you going to put your money? What company, after you sell your shares for whatever dollar amount, what company is better than GameStop? What company is run better metrics, just a better vision, and a better CEO? I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna wait for you. There's nobody. There's no place better. That's the scary part. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I appreciate you guys so much, but I promise you, it's something that my wife taught me a while ago, something you might even learn yourself. We're all right where we're supposed to be. I'm right here with you. Peace.